now going to Geoff Hacker's house. We were there last night at his fiberglass farms, and now we're following him to his house because he has 2 more cars he wants to show us. So we're on our way there right now. Well, good morning again.
Good morning. Welcome to cold Florida.
Yeah, really. We're going to see a rare Packard this morning that Geoff owns, 5 minutes from here, but I wanted to show you a truck that connected Geoff and I, probably 15 years ago when I featured it in one of my books. So let's take a look back here. When I wrote the first barn find book, The Cobra in the Barn, 15, 18 years ago, one of the cars I featured was this odd-looking race transporter that was built in California to haul a sports car to places like Riverside for races. This one is built with a brand new cab for a 1959 El Camino, and built it on the front of the vehicle, and the engine's in the back. And what this was a California Hot Rods idea of the Mercedes-Benz transporter that hauled the 300 SLR to races in Europe in the 50s, which was a vehicle that had this cab way in the front and an engine in the back, or mid-engine, and the race car, the 300 SLR Mercedes, was on the back. So in typical California hot rod tradition, they say, well, we can do something like that. And they wiped off their hands and they got their welders out and started to weld up this machine. And it was once built, it was once completed, and it was used. Although the weight bias was not quite right, and I believe when they put the brakes on, with the front went down and the back wheels went up in the air. So they had to extend it, and I don't think that part was ever finished. So I'll leave it to Geoff to explain the rest of this.
Well, Norm Holtkamp is the guy who was a board track racer in the 40s. And he actually kind of conceived of this idea. And he really by the mid-50s, he was becoming a Porsche person, a VW person, and was very intrigued with the transporter that was built in 53, 54 by Mercedes. In fact, this chassis on this is Mercedes, 1953 Mercedes chassis, self-loading and so forth. He was building...
This is a Mercedes chassis?
Yeah, Mercedes chassis. He was actually building something to go faster than the Mercedes transporter. This is America's answer to it is on the cover of Car and Driver in 1961. It was built in 1959. They actually had to buy a cab and whole body, and then they had to sell the brand new back end El Camino part, and then kept the front end, and then cantilevered the frame. The frame ends about here, and all of this is cantilevered in front. And they also, the engine currently located is actually addressing what Tom was talking about, which was a weight distribution problem. There used to be tanks of water, 40-gallon tanks, 2 of them in the back. It wasn't enough. The car, when it was
hold
empty,
the back down.
Yeah, to hold the back down. This was designed a little bit differently. This is actually the track right here where the car would go on, very narrow track. So you can't take big cars, full-size cars, like the other one.
This chassis, was that a 300S sedan chassis?
I'd have to look it up, but it's a 300 something. It's in my books here.
I mean, in typical Mercedes fashion, it's overly complicated. There's a lot going on there. Independent rear suspension? Yeah.
Self-leveling, I think they told me as well. I have not dug into it at all. We wanted to make sure we were ready both financially and materialistically and ready to go. This would be about a 2 or 3 year project.
If you had a picture of this, that he could shoot a picture of it to see what it looked like when it was completed.
Yeah, I've got pictures I can show
to you. Just to imagine this with beautiful aluminum sides and a deck and a race car.
The real name of this is the Cheetah Transporter. That's how it was known and written up in the time. But when it became Dean Moon's in the late 60s, early 70s, it became better known as the Moon Transporter. And he upgraded the wheels and tires and brakes. These are Earhart, you might recognize the racing brakes, I believe they are Earhart Hurst.
Oh yeah,
or Hurst Earhart. Yeah. And he upgraded the hubs, the wheels. And then the next owner moved the engine back, Jim Degnan, who you met. Jim Degnan put the engine in. But we're going to pull the engine out and then put the engine back where it needs to go and do the engineering necessary. Because currently, in here, you have actually a power steering system in here to make, which Jim did a great job in doing, but the problem is it then takes the place for the engine, so we need to engineer things a little bit differently so that we can perhaps take advantage of power steering, but not there, to find another
complicated
place.
Complicated, man.
Probably a 3-year project if we do it right.
Geoff fell in love with it after after buying a copy of the book and said, I need to own that vehicle. And I gave him the contact name of the guy that owned it. And before I know it, Jeff sends me a note and says, guess what? It's not in California anymore. It's at my house in Florida. So it's still sitting here untouched, but I guess soon to become a restoration project.
2018, a little bit longer than we thought. It's been here about 10 years, but 12 years.
Well, so actually, I appreciate you sharing this because I haven't seen this for quite a few years.
Well, I would have rather had you seen it when it was shiny. So come on back next year or two, and we'll do.
And then now we're going to see a Packard.
True barn find.
And how far away is that?
About 5 minutes.
Let's go. Yep.
I know. It's not fiberglass. Can you tell?
So we just pull this? Is it in gear or something?
Yeah, it's let's see. We may have to employ other people. It's going to be. It's not.
Are there any other people around?
There we go. Okay. It'll be fine. Just kind of. All right, everyone. There we go. Oh, hey. It's fine.
Okay, not too far. All right, so start from square one. What year is it?
This is a the car itself is a 1948 Packard Super 8 Convertible, which Super 8 was their less long. The Custom 8 was a longer car. This has a 120-inch wheelbase. A Custom was a 127-inch wheelbase, a longer Packard. And this was the brand new body style, a streamlined body style for post-war era.
So what's the idea? I've never heard of Monte Carlo Packard.
We're still doing the research. It's an unknown car, but it's presumed to be designed by Richard R. Beebe because Richard R. Beebe did another car for Henny, Packard, called the 1949 Monte Carlo as well, with exactly the same script, exactly the same style. And other cars were thought to be built, but they never could confirm it.
So this is white from here down, and then from red?
Yeah, right here. And also this area here is kind of interesting, but what Richard R. Beebe did was on both the Monte Carlos is he actually lowered this. And so if you put your hand up underneath here, you'll actually feel the original wheel well about 4 inches up.
So it's up here?
Right.
So it's almost like a skirt type of device.
Yeah, and in fact the other one even had a more pronounced drop to it, which is one of the signature parts of the Monte Carlo. And there's some other changes. The trim is different on this car. The actual grille is a little bit different from what a Super 8 would be. When
was the last time this car was on the road?
It has 44,000 miles. I don't know. Most of the stuff we find has license plates on it. It has an interesting history though. 1993, Harlan bought the car at auction near Houston, and it was a drug dealer's cars. All of his cars were being auctioned. Drug dealer's cars have been confiscated, so...
Is that why there's 32 on here?
32 is the auction number. People kept pictures of the auction in 93. And
pretty solid floor, I'd say. I mean, it's one little rust hole.
Super solid. That's what, and if you look for dents and scratches, you don't see anything.
So this was repainted because there's rubber trim here that's painted white.
Yeah, and if we open up the trunk, you'll see the red car was actually painted white and so forth. They did some custom things to it, but...
And of course, this came from the factory that in Detroit, you know, now kind of a historic landmark. It's hopefully being restored. The world famous Packard plant.
Yeah, and those are cloisonne hubcaps. That one's missing. This one actually has it cloisonne, and these are would have been on the next grade up, the Custom. So there are a lot of features on this car which are uniquely combined to produce what we believe to be, and we're still reaching the Richard R. Beebe Monte Carlo. If so, Tom, this would be maybe the earliest post-war show car that exists.
Yeah, that's a brand new tire. I wonder if that might be the original factory tire. I mean, it's still got the little tips on there. That tire's never been on the ground. Isn't that something?
And the interior, I don't know if this is an original material for Packard, but it's the original door panels and such, but in a very kind of attractive matching cloth.
Well, so this is white from here down red, and this is black with red. I mean, very Art Deco.
Yeah.
Now, can you open the hood?
Yeah, we can. Now, if I can do it on this one, there we go.
So it's a straight 8.
Well, there's a couple pressure gauges down here and here.
Yeah, look at that.
And I don't.
Or is that a 6? It's a 6.
This should be 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8. Okay, it's a straight 8. Okay, let's get that straight.
Yeah, a couple of the.
A downdraft.
Well, it is called a Super 8, so.
Okay.
I'm still becoming a Packard historian.
Yep. So this is a restoration, white, red. You'll go back to the original scheme if that's what you determined it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderfully pleasant car anyway. Even if it turns out to be absolutely nothing, it would be a fun car to restore. It's not in that bad a shape. This would get a frame-off restoration, which, like the Moon Transporter, is a significant one. So we need to get the when you see the Transporter done and you and I are driving along somewhere, then you'll know that this car is next. So.
Well, I'd say thank you. We're going to leave now, but if I left now, nobody would be here to help you push this car back in.
We're going to try to get more people, maybe even the camera crew, to
yeah, I think so. Yeah, you might have to put that sucker down and help us push, because this is heavy.
It does roll.
Thank you.
Rolls backwards.
Thank you.